20. Then shall arise in his place a raiser of taxes in the glorious kingdom. But within a few days he shall be destroyed, but neither in anger, nor in battle. Napoleon Bonaparte, 1769–1821 CE, The Continental System, 1806–1814 CE, intended to establish French industrial and European commercial hegemony. Glorious kingdom equals Western Europe. Napoleon died while in exile on the island of St. Helena. 21. And in his place shall arise a vile person, to whom they shall not give the honor of royalty. But he shall come in peaceably, and seize the kingdom by flatteries. Benito Mussolini, 1922–1943 CE. The March on Rome, Kingdom of Italy 1922 CE, Fascism. 22. And with the force of a flood shall they be swept away from before him, and shall be broken. Yea, also the Prince of the Covenant. Italian offensive against the British Empire, in Africa and Arabia, the Second Italian-Ethiopian War, 1935–1937 CE. 23. And after the league is made with him he shall work deceitfully. For he shall come up, and shall become strong with a small number of people. The Hoare-Laval Pact 1935 CE between Britain and France, which undermined the sovereignty of Ethiopia and the League of Nations, by accepting the invasion of Abyssinia as an accomplished fact. 24. He shall enter peaceably even into the richest places of the province. And he shall do that which his fathers have not done, nor his fathers' fathers. He shall scatter among them the plunder, and spoil, and riches. Yea, and he shall devise his plans against the strongholds, but only for a time. Nazi-occupied Europe, 1939–1945 CE. 25. And he shall stir up his power and his courage against the king of the south with a great army. And the king of the south shall be stirred up to battle with a very great and mighty army. But he shall not stand. For they shall devise plans against him. The Second Italian-Ethiopian War, 1935–1937 CE. 26. Yea, they that feed of the portion of his rich food shall destroy him, and his army shall be swept away. And many shall fall down slain. During the feast of Maskell the 27th of September 1939 CE in Addis Ababa, Haile Tekel Haymanot, Ras Siem Mengesha, and Haile Selassie Gugsa, submitted to Italian control of their homeland. 27. And both these kings' hearts shall be to do evil, and they shall speak lies at the same table. But it shall not prosper. For the end shall yet be at the time appointed. The Rome-Berlin Axis 1937 CE, and the Pact of Steel 1939 CE. 28. Then shall he return into his land with great riches. But his heart shall be against the Holy Covenant. And he shall work his will, and return to his own land. Italy's initial exploits, Second Italian-Ethiopian War. Italy left the League of Nations in 1937 CE for invading Abyssinia. 29. At the time appointed he shall return, and come toward the south. But it shall not be like the former, or like the latter. The East African Campaign, 1940–1942 CE. In the First Italian-Ethiopian War 1896 CE, and the Second Italian-Ethiopian War, 1935–1937 CE, Italian aggression was not opposed. 30. For the ships of Kittim shall come against him. Therefore he shall be grieved, and return, and rage against the Holy Covenant. So shall he do. He shall even return, and show favor toward them that forsake the Holy Covenant. The Allied Forces, First Battle of El Alamein 1942 CE. 31. And forces shall appear on his part, and they shall defile the sanctuary fortress, and shall take away the daily sacrifice, and they shall set up the abomination that makes desolate. The Lateran Treaty 1929 CE aligned the Vatican with Fascist Italy. Papal and ecclesiastical support for the Italian campaign as a civilizing mission to spread Catholicism in Orthodox Christian Ethiopia, facilitated fascist aggression and enabled their atrocities. Italian forces targeted Ethiopia's cultural and religious heritage. Hundreds of monasteries and churches were ransacked, looted, destroyed. Priceless relics, manuscripts, and heirlooms plundered. A desecration of Ethiopia's ancient Christian legacy. To erase Ethiopian identity, and assert Western supremacy, founded by Philip II of Macedon r. 359 to 336 BCE. 32. And such as do wickedly against the covenant shall he corrupt by flattery. But the people that do know their God shall be strong, and take action. League members who withdrew to join the Axis powers. The Abyssinia Association. Afrocentric partisans and native patriots. 33. And they that understand among the people shall instruct many. Yet they shall fall by the sword, and by flame, by captivity, and by plunder, many days. The Arbegnach, Ethiopian anti-fascist resistance fighters, for the Italian-Abyssinian war effort, 1936–1941 CE. 34. Now when they shall fall, they shall be aided with a little help. But many shall join to them with flattery. Allies of World War II who joined the East African Campaign, 1940–1942 CE, having ulterior motives of annexation. Compare with My Life and Ethiopia's Progress, 1936–1942. Volume 2. Chapter 22. The Beginning of New Leadership and the Reconstruction of the Country. The State of Our Relations with the British. 35. And some of them of understanding shall fall, to test them, and to purify them, and to make them white, until the time of the end, because it is yet for the time appointed. Afrocentric pioneers. 36. And the king shall do according to his will. And he shall exalt himself, and magnify himself above every god, and shall speak astonishing things against the God of gods, and shall prosper till the wrath is accomplished. For what has been determined shall be done. Proclamation of the Third Greater Reich. 37. Neither shall he regard the gods of his fathers, nor the desire of women, nor regard any god. For he shall magnify himself above all. Führer, leader of Third Greater Reich, 1943–1945 CE. 38. But in their place he shall honor the God of fortresses. And a God whom his fathers knew not shall he honor with gold, and silver, and with precious stones, and pleasant things. Nazi technology, Thule Society, 1918–1925 CE. The German space program 1930s–1940s, German nuclear program during World War II. 39. Thus shall he do in the strongest fortresses with a foreign god, which he shall acknowledge and advance its glory. And he shall cause them to rule over many, and shall divide the land for gain. With newly adopted technologies, the Wehrmacht, 1938–1945, led in new frontiers for conquest, aerospace and maritime. Nazi-occupied Europe, 1935–1945 CE. 40. And at the time of the end shall the king of the south attack him. And the king of the north shall come against him like a whirlwind, with chariots, and with horsemen, and with many ships. And he shall enter into the countries, and shall overflow and pass through. Battle of Meichu, the 31st of March 1936 CE. Whirlwind equals modern military maneuvers, fascist aggression, chemical warfare, aerial bombings and ground campaigns against the Ethiopian forces. 41. He shall enter also into the glorious land, and many countries shall be overthrown. But these shall escape out of his hand, even Edom, and Moab, and most of the children of Ammon. Glorious land equals Western Europe. The USA, British Empire and Free France in exile 1940 CE. 42. He shall stretch forth his hand also against the countries. And the land of Egypt shall not escape. Nazi-occupied Europe by the Wehrmacht, 1939–1945 CE. The Second Battle of El Alamein 1942 CE. 43. But he shall have power over the treasures of gold and of silver, and over all the precious things of Egypt. And the Libyans and the Ethiopians shall follow in his train. 44. But tidings out of the east and out of the north shall trouble him. Therefore he shall go forth with great fury to destroy, and to utterly sweep away many. Emergence of Allied forces, the Western Desert Campaign 1940 CE. 45. And he shall plant the tents of his palace between the sea and the glorious holy mountain. Yet he shall come to his end, and none shall help him.